Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. Preston Guy, TigerBait.com, talking Tigers. Joins us every Friday on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Preston, how we doing?
Wet, muggy, a little bit hot, but the word on the street is that ends tomorrow, so we'll see.
Look, I'll give you wet and a little bit muggy. I'm not going to give you hot in September when it's like in the 80s right now. Like it could be much, much worse at this point in the calendar.
Okay, but that's just because it's cloudy. Okay,
Yes.
Like if the sun goes away, we're back up to if the sun comes out, we're back up to 95. So relatively speaking, still hot, Hunt. Okay?
Look, I'm fired up that the high is 85 tomorrow. That's as good as I can wish for the home opener. That's got 98 written all over it. I'll take 85 every single day. So I'm excited to get out to campus tomorrow. Should be a great weather day and an opportunity for fans to get out into Tiger Stadium and see this team. Unfortunately, not going to see John Emery. Just devastating news earlier this week that he's going to be out for the season with another ACL tear. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Tumultuous just seems like the most accurate word I can find, but that just doesn't even seem to capture it. You know, his career has been like a crazy train of everything happening, and the saddest part about it is availability is the best ability, and for John Emery, most of his career hasn't been available. It's just unbelievable luck. It's a combination of luck and maybe some issues fumbling the ball. I mean, but it's just been crazy. I feel awful for the kid, and I hope somehow, some way, and at this point, I don't even care where it's at. I hope he has a bounce back. I hope he's able to get a good, happy ending to his story at this point. Who knows? Maybe the NCAA will let him play another year. They got a kid from Miami who's in his 8th year of eligibility, but that's awful. In terms of impact for LSU, yes, he had a good game for LSU. I was kind of unpopular when I was telling people. I was like, look, if you break it down, he had 10 carries for 61 yards. 39 came on one play.
Yep.
And it was really one of the few good holes the offensive line made that day. And I wonder, was it really that John Emery hit it hard and ran well? Sure, he ran just fine, but I feel like any of the other running backs could have also made that play. If you take that away, I mean, he's got 9 carries for 22 yards, which is right with what the rest of the guys are doing. So I don't know that it hurts your depth-wise, but I don't know that he was substantially better than Caleb Jackson or Josh Williams. But, you still needed him. You still needed him there. Caden Durham is looking like he's going to be next man up now for LSU.
Do they have enough talent at running back? I know they don't have enough guys. Do they have enough talent if everybody stays healthy?
Yeah, they don't have enough bodies, but they do have enough talent. I felt much better about that answer 7 days ago than I did today, but I still think Caleb Jackson's a freak waiting to bust out. They asked Brian Kelly about his playing weight, 235. Actually, Mike Scarborough asked him about that, and he said no, he's good. His speed is still high. I think he said 22 miles an hour at practice, so he's still good. It just didn't happen for whatever reason. He only had 6 carries in the game, and I find it hard to judge a player on 6 carries. Especially when the offensive line isn't blocking the way you really would like to see them. So we'll see. Caden Durham is a guy I'm very excited to see. He's one of the fastest players on the team, one of the fastest players to come out of the state of Texas. And Jawan Johnson moved his number to 8. He's going to be playing running back. That's a very interesting move. As we know, he really made a name for himself here in the LHSAA, playing offense, playing quarterback, where he ran the ball a bunch. So that's a move that makes a lot of sense. I would keep my eyes out for maybe a guy like a Jelani Watkins, who's a track star playing wide receiver, who's probably going to redshirt anyways this year. I mean, you telling me you can't put the ball in his hands and say, go run, Bottle Rocket?
I thought Sai'vion Thomas might be a candidate to go back there and carry the ball a little bit. That was kind of where my head was in an emergency earlier this week. But I'm interested in seeing Jawan Johnson carry the football because he's such an exciting player. Let's go back to the offensive line because you mentioned it. What did you make of their performance in the run game, and can they improve?
Yeah, I especially watching the film, just wasn't great. But I'm really watching this film. I'm like, man, USC's defensive line and front seven as a whole, not just because their linebackers gave them hell too. They looked really good to me. And if you look at the defensive line coach that USC hired. We're talking about a guy who coached Aaron Donald for the LA Rams. You know, like, this is a guy who's been around and done some good things on the defensive line. I really think this is a story about USC being good. That being said, you're supposed to be the best offensive line. Doesn't matter if they're really good. You're supposed to take care of them. So it was disappointing. It was disappointing across the board. Pass blocking I thought was good, with the exception of the 4th and 3 play.
Yep.
Where they let a linebacker come up the A-gap unimpeded, and that resulted in taking 7 points off the board, essentially. But outside of that, they were elite passing the ball. It was just simply run blocking was mediocre. There really wasn't much all night long.
Is this a finesse offense?
You know, I think they want to be. I think they were trying to force an identity that they weren't ready for. They want to cram it up cram it up the gut, run the ball, but I don't know that they have the guys to do it. I think they should focus on a passing game. They were trying to establish a running game that would never get established. They should have taken their loss, adapted, and let Nussmeier cook, who Nussmeier was phenomenal. He made tons of plays. And if anything, get more vertical with your passing game. I never thought we would see Nussmeier under center and be like, they need to push the ball downfield more. But here we are.
I thought they moved the ball pretty well, even with the short passing game. They just didn't capitalize when they got into the red zone. So we'll see. Kind of the narrative this week on the other side of the ball with the defense is that there may be a youth movement coming in the secondary, throughout the secondary. Do you feel that way as the season wears on? Yeah.
I think that this is a perfect opportunity, especially got some safeties banged up. I'm looking at a heavy dose. This is one of those games where you're going to win. You don't really care if Nussmeier goes 13 for 13 for 3 touchdowns. You kind of know what the deal is, right? You are looking to see, okay, do guys struggle? If they struggle, that raises question marks. But what you're really looking for in these games is, how do these young guys filling in that might be fighting for a starting spot look? I'm going to be looking for Kylan Jackson and Deshaun Spears early and often. How do they look? Do they look like they know where to line up? Are they ready to play big-time ball? I'll be keeping a heavy eye out for those two. And then on the offensive end, it's those young running backs I mentioned, Caden Durham and Jawan Johnson.
What about P.J. Woodland in the secondary? How do you feel about him?
Oh, he's right in there with him. He's absolutely – I think P.J. Woodland needs to start right now. I think he's better than Sage Ryan at corner. I think he showed me a lot. He got a pass interference call on him I didn't like. I felt like, the receiver really went into him for the ball, and he just kind of stood his ground. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to, get out of the way so the receiver can catch the ball? So I thought he played a very good game. He's very long, tall, and athletic. I just think with all 3 of those young DBs we're talking about right now, I think that, they need some time and maturation. Well, guess what? How do you get time and maturation? I don't know. How about Nicholls State? A game that you're probably going to be up early on and doing well. Go get them out there, let them play, let them grow up, let them become men in front of our eyes. That's what I'm looking for.
It's a results business. You got to win games, and they didn't win on Sundays, so that's the big story. But if you take that out of the equation and you just evaluate the play on the field, did you feel like the defense was improved? Like, do you feel differently today than you did last Saturday?
Yeah, no, they looked really good, and it's one of those things where, all right, Hunt, I'm going to say something painful here, and we're just going to have to all grunt and groan over it. This defense paired with last year's offense is probably, I don't even want to say what I think they're going to do, but it's a good season we all missed out on. Let's put it like this. I liked a lot. I still think the DBs need to improve. I mean, you still got cooked for almost 400 yards passing, but the defensive line looked really good. Linebackers, rock solid. It's just those DBs and the coverage really needs to improve. I think a big part of that is going to be getting these talented young players on the field and let them grow up, let them make their mistakes and do your thing. But, yeah, this is a much better defense. I mean, even the plays USC is making required so much effort. Think about the one-handed grab, which, by the way, there was a really big blown holding call on that play. It just was great plays that USC made, and that's what you wanted to see all last year. It's not even that, these teams are putting up as much yards and offense as they are. It's that they're not even doing high-effort plays. You're giving them everything, and they didn't give up much on Saturday. So that's the saddest part about this, Hunt. There was a lot to like on Saturday, but you didn't come up with a W, so it really doesn't matter.
Sai'vion Jones had 2 sacks in the game. Can he be a 10-sack guy?
Boy, 7 days ago I would have laughed at you, but he could be. He looked, man, at Tiger Bait, we've been hyping him up for a long time. In fact, Mike Scarborough does his little ranking boards of the top players in state. He actually had him above Mason Smith, which no one did. He thought Sai'vion Jones was a freak, so I thought Sai'vion was due for a freak season last year, and it did not pan out. Boy, we were looking dumb. So hopefully he turns out a good season and plays to his potential. It really does look like coaching was, especially on the defensive line, was just abhorrent a year ago. And, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, well, you were down to an interim coach coaching out of position for that, of course. And then you go to 2 of the best defensive line coaches in the country. Of course you should see improvement, but it doesn't always work that way. So, really like what I saw out of Sai'vion Jones. Hoping we can see more 10 sacks. That's doable. It's doable.
Preston Guy every single Monday on YouTube, every Friday here, and you on the post-game show this weekend for Tiger Bait?
That's right. We'll be there usually about an hour after kickoff. Us writers, we got to write our stories and then go live. But we'll be there. Y'all come check us out.
Preston, we appreciate it. Have a good weekend, man.
Thanks, Hunt.
Preston Guy, tigerbait.com with us. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.